Get it together. Let me see. Am I not
Hey,
doing
good evening, guys. How are you? Welcome back to the Green Room with myself, John Long, and my co-host, Dr. Wendy Askew.
Hey, everybody.
We actually have a special guest this evening. Danielle Cunningham is joining us, so thank you for joining us.
How are you guys?
So good to see you again.
Thank you guys so
It's been
much
forever.
for having me on.
Yeah, we're thrilled.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it.
I'm excited. I am obsessed with your roll-on CBD.
That's awesome. We love to hear that. We love to hear
It's
that.
like the best ever, especially in like the traps and the neck area. I just rolled it on,
Yeah,
and
the tension spots.
I think there's a lot of lines that like you gotta like get your hands dirty, and I mean you could literally roll it.
Nice.
It's amazing.
Awesome. And we're going to talk more about that, I promise. We're going to get there because there's so many other things we actually have that you haven't tried yet that you're just it's going to kind of blow your mind. So we're really excited to kind of talk about that. But we want to talk about, we'd like everyone to like, comment, and share. As always, like, comment, and share. We are giving away a tincture tonight. We're going to be giving away a 250 milligram peppermint tincture tonight. So we've had some great winners in the past 22 episodes now.
Yay.
We've given away a lot of product, and we've had a lot of opportunity for individuals to try our product and are just like yourself blown away with the way that the product actually works. There's a lot of products out in the market that we see today that you can buy from a convenience store, any type of C-store, gas station. Sometimes you can get them from Whole Foods.
Yep.
And you essentially think, oh, I got it at Whole Foods, it's going to work, And you get it home and then you take it and it's like, this didn't do anything for me. I don't really feel anything.
Why can't I sleep?
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So we took the time to make sure that we partner with the right individuals in the industry, and we have produced the right quality CBD with the highest content that we can that's legally available in all 50 states, and then created with our chemists and our pharmacists some of the best products for retail side. So as we consume them, we actually sell them to consumers. My goal is always tell individuals the proof's in the pudding. So I'd love to meet individuals who, number one, don't believe in it or have had experience and said, oh, it's crap.
Yeah.
Because we've heard that a lot too. CBD's crap. And number one, I don't get high. I'm not a pothead. I'm not this. I'm not that. And at the same time, I've tried it once and it didn't do anything for me. So I'm like, well, let's let you try this product.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, especially when we go to these shows, we go to these farmers markets or we do the Burning Market days. I had a lot of individuals that came over and said, okay, well, fine, I'll try it. They came back 20 minutes later, and they were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this stuff actually does what it says it's going to do. What a concept.
I know, right? Truth in advertising. I just heard somebody talking on a podcast, somebody speaking at UCLA at one of the CanMed meetings, talking about how just so many studies where they've kind of looked at what's being sold and what even the certificates of analysis say that they have rarely correlate with what's in them when they randomly test them. And they talked about LA overrepresenting what they said they had. They had more THC, more CBD, and San Francisco tending to have underrepresentation of their different cannabinoids and such. So, when you have somebody who's honestly doing the chemistry and behind the testing and knows what they're doing, it's really important because you will always be told that you can trust everybody who's selling you something, and unfortunately it's not the case.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And you were saying something fascinating, which the THC content tends to vary like well below the 0.3%.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And which is great because ours actually came back, and a lot of our products test at actually 0.01,
Right.
Less than 1%. So
Right.
I think most of ours test at 0.0128 or 0.0122. And the great thing is all of our products actually have a QR code. So you can scan any one of our products, and it'll bring you up to the COA and how they test.
Fabulous.
So
because I
that's
don't think
important.
most products have that. I don't
Yeah,
think that.
they don't usually have that.
Yeah.
A lot of times when I go into different competitors' places, what I'll find is they have a laminated COA that they show for anyone who comes into the store, which is great. But how do you know that was used on that one particular product?
Yeah.
Because again, there's different grows that come out every single year.
Exactly.
And every grow that comes out either is going to come out sometimes a little hot, not so hot, maybe less CBD, more of the CBG or CBNs, which is great. But again, it's not what you're selling.
Right.
So I want to make sure that what we're selling actually is what is in our product.
Yeah.
And that's what we take pride in.
I think that is such a cool feature because you're right. People can show you a certificate of analysis, and how do you know as a consumer, a purchaser, a patient, whether or not they, downloaded it off the internet or anything else? Yeah.
And I think that as far as being a physician, now seeing CBD oil lines in like gas stations and wellness centers, like they don't see the value in it, that it's really a huge need to help with, anti-inflammatories, just the overall wellness of how you feel. But how do you like combat that, seeing how much it's, 2016, nobody even wanted it near them. 2020, it's everywhere.
I think that's the goal of what our show is here. Of course, bringing another physician in as a medical director, as a partner, showing those individuals, those other physicians, what we can do in the medical market. I've been in the medical arena now for 28 years, practicing and nursing, and the goal that I wanted to make sure we get out there was making sure that we can educate individuals. Because the more people we can educate and show them, how well this product works. I use my wife as an example all the time because she has rheumatoid arthritis and fibromyalgia. So that's one of the main reasons her and I actually bought this company with my other partners, is trying to build a product that was going to help her disease.
Yeah.
Because before CBD, she was on 10 different medications, from DMARDs, TNFs, onto biologic agents, which you were
I've been on
yourself.
them too. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she was
10
up to
different agents, right?
10.
And when you're on that many, the risk of adverse drug reactions is exponentially high. So you're just kind of waiting for your kidneys to take a hit.
Exactly.
I'm not saying this glibly, but it's just the fact. When you take that many prescription things, they weren't designed to be taken with 9 other things, and they all hit the same metabolic receptors, and so it's just kind of a setup for a complication at some point. So this is a wonderful adjunct to help people come off of, you don't need your benzo anymore to sleep. You don't need your antidepressant as much. You don't need your pain medications as often. It's a great option, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
And
more
she
we could
was.
get back to being holistic, the better. And the plant is a holistic, it's a plant. So it's
Yes.
just crazy how people like to put a negative context on it. And it's like, no, we're just trying to get you back to where we were all supposed to be intended, things that grow from the ground.
Right.
Instead of made in a.
So many synthetics, right?
Yes.
One day we can do this show on the background of THC
Yes.
and kind of how it came to be vilified and demonized and really cast a shadow over it when it shouldn't have in the first place.
Yeah.
But that's really the scope of a whole other topic.
That is. In fact, I think we talked about that a couple of shows
did.
ago, where back in the 1800s, all the way up until 1974 or 72, somewhere around there.
Narcotic, the controlled substance.
Yeah, that actually was the 3rd highest prescribed medication on the for pharmacology, which was cannabidiol.
Yep.
So, the actual cannabis plant itself was besides opioids.
Yes, it was in the
and,
pharmacopoeia. It
yes,
was
that's it.
recommended. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. What do you
So
guys
we're
think
going
about
full
IV therapies with CBD oils?
I'm not familiar with it, to be honest.
So there's a
Really?
couple of companies
Yeah.
I've talked to, in fact, that have come to me and talked to me about doing that, because one of my previous companies before this was an infusion management company. So we actually built one of the largest infusion management companies in the country, and essentially what we did is we go out and help physicians integrate biologic infusions into their everyday practice. So whether it was for MS, for gastroenterology, or whether rheumatology, we'd essentially help them build that infusion practice there. So one of the things that I've talked to about for these other individuals is that you have to be very cautious about the CBD infusions, because number one, again, it's not regulated by the FDA yet. And now that you're doing something intravenous, there's so many more
risk.
regulations that you have to kind of abide by, that they're kind of really not, they're not really set in place just yet. So there's a lot of risk there, because risk for anaphylaxis, risk for any other, infections, introducing anything directly into the blood
Into the
system.
sterile field, yeah.
Yeah, you have to be very cautious of.
Absolutely.
So, and of course you have to have a physician, you have to have a registered nurse, making sure that you're supervising those type of
Yeah, when
visits.
you're doing the infusions.
So making sure that you actually have those type of individuals already on staff, it's a very costly opportunity as well too. So,
Yeah.
Are people doing it? IV infusions?
I just heard about it recently, and to me, I'm like, just even filling the whole, topicals, it feels so good.
Yeah.
And I know so many massage therapy places are doing it.
I love that.
Yes.
And I'm
That I
like,
love.
we all know, your palms and your feet, if you, that's very, very
Yes.
much going,
Yes.
holistic. But just the more that you lather it upon you, the better it's going to make you feel. And I know personally, just using CBD oils, it really helps with anxiety. It's just, I am blown away with your guys' products.
I'm so excited that you do.
It's just, I mean, I hate whenever people discredit anybody that's selling CBD
Sure.
line, because I'm like, it's great.
Yeah.
And it's like,
It's usually 'cause of the lack of education.
packaging
Yeah.
that you guys have came up with is amazing. And I
So
mean,
you're
I'm
a
like,
great spokesperson now, spokesman, a
Yes.
testimonial.
Yes, I'm like,
Yeah,
get the roll
to help
on.
people
That's
understand,
awesome.
right.
That's awesome.
Make sure that they,
So
but
we
it's
have-
hard to change people's mind, you know.
It is.
And I'm
It
like,
is.
you know, there's a lot of physicians still that are like, oh, this is hocus pocus, and I'm
yeah,
like,
snake oil. Mhm.
you know, just try it for 2 weeks. I mean, I think anyone that tries it, I can't imagine them saying it's hocus pocus.
Right, as long as
but-
they got a good product and had a good instruction on how to use it and how much to take and such, they we would expect them to notice a benefit.
Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And we've seen just amazing benefits. The great thing is we've been in business now, like I said, for about a year. We've been hitting the market pretty hard since January to current. And I can tell you from January to current, 99.9% of the consumers that we've sold to are all repeat customers or can't give me anything negative to say.
Yeah.
I've had one of them who actually was having some hallucinations with the
The 5,000?
No. Actually, it was strictly just with the melatonin.
Interesting. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
but they said they have always had those type of hallucinations with melatonin.
Wow.
Just by itself.
Fascinating.
So the melatonin CBD was just something that they felt was just like not for them.
Okay.
Which is fine because we
Sure.
moved them to a tincture and it worked
And it worked
absolutely
great.
fine.
Good.
So same thing, but we just took out the melatonin for them and it was perfect.
How interesting.
But yeah, that's the only thing I've had as far as negative comments that have come back so far. I mean, other than that, I mean, I've had great comments. Of course, my whole family uses it.
Yeah.
All my in-laws, all my
Yes.
parents, everyone
I'm
in my
trying to,
family uses it.
convert everybody
My kids even use it.
Mine
you know.
too. My pets.
My
mother-
pets.
Yeah. I was
So-
going to come something that you said about the fibromyalgia. I don't know if we talked about this before, but fibromyalgia is a really hard condition to treat, right? And a lot of doctors didn't even used to believe in the condition. It was kind of this like trash can condition for mostly women who experienced pain that they couldn't really come up with a cause for. But there's a doctor who's one of the most preeminent cannabis researchers and scientists in the world, Dr. Russo, and his theory, based on the molecular science, and he's a neurologist and has been on the board of GW Pharmaceuticals in the past, is that fibromyalgia is actually an endocannabinoid deficiency syndrome, and that's why cannabis products and CBD work so well, because either through stress, childbearing, accidents, trauma, illnesses, that they've just depleted their body's ability to make their own endocannabinoids, the receptors, the enzymes, all of the pieces of the endocannabinoid system, and that CBD can really have a profound impact on them. And there's migraines, he postulates, another one, irritable bowel syndrome, and then really bad menstrual cramps.
Wow.
So yeah, the science behind it.
You're always teaching me something new.
Yeah.
Which is amazing because actually that really did happen. The fibromyalgia and the rheumatoid really started to flare after my wife had our fifth child. So
Oh yeah.
so she just kind of depleted everything. I'm
5
sure.
Totally.
kids?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we've got a few more than that, but yeah.
You have more?
Yeah, so we have kind of yours, mine, and ours. My
Yeah.
ex and I actually had 4 together, and then my wife had 3, and then we had 2 together. So we have 9 total.
Oh, wow.
Oh
You
my
have
God.
2, right, Wendy?
I've just got 2.
Okay.
It feels like 9. but-
I have 1. It feels
Yeah.
like 3.
yeah. 9. Yeah, I would take a second job, a third job.
So we have someone here saying they have a metal joint in her big toe and mainly uses product on the foot around the pain on the foot and her lower back. So that's Tara. So actually, Tara, hopefully that works well for you. I know I have a lot of back pain too. So I've had 2 microdiscectomies and a partial laminotomy from a back injury I had back in 2001, and essentially that works really well. So sometimes I'll take up to a 5,000 milligram tincture, and I'll do the roll on as well, and just knocks it out.
You're good.
It works absolutely perfect.
Good.
And sometimes I'll be in traffic or something else, and I'll just pop 1 or 2 gummies, and it'll
Yes.
kind of keep me going.
Yes.
Gives it a
I
little
keep my
extra.
roller in my purse, probably like you do now
Oh,
too.
no, it's
so if I'm
awful.
getting like kind of tense from sitting in traffic, or
I'm like
whatnot,
rolling it on my
just
neck,
pull it
all
out,
mad.
yeah, rub it on, chill.
Crunching my teeth, yelling at people.
Do you get road rage?
Yeah, I get work rage.
Well, actually, our gummies work really well for that. So they could just kind of give you that nice little chill, you know,
Yeah.
not to, you know, of course you're not out of your mind at all, but you're just kind of calm. You're just nice and relaxed. Everything doesn't get to me as much as it usually does.
Yeah.
Especially on those days that, on the payroll days or, you know, accounting days where I have to go back.
Exactly.
Those are actually the days it works best. Just kind of pop one or two of those.
Yeah.
Kind of keeps me nice and calm. Just
And they taste
sign all
really
the
good
checks.
too. That's exactly. It hurts less if you
It
take
does
some
hurt less.
CBD because you're signing all the checks. And I mean, they just have CBD, so it's not a risk. But, if Sophie will take some sometimes if I want her
Now,
to go
what
to
about
sleep or what.
people that test positive using a lot of tinctures? Gummies, I don't think it's an issue, but tinctures?
So
like-
tinctures, yes, they can definitely test positive for that, and that's, you know, of course, it's going to be a higher dose, but we always have to make sure that they know that our products are full spectrum.
Yep.
The ones you're taking there actually are not. So those have no THC at all. So those are strictly isolate. So all the THC has been stripped out of those. We actually do have gummies that actually have full spectrum, because I actually have a consumer. I have a retailer who actually likes to sell our products, white label them, and she only likes to buy our full spectrum gummies because that's what her consumers like.
Nice.
So we can make them essentially any way you like. We just decided to go this way because we had police officers, physicians, nurses, you know, that were just looking for something to take the edge off, but wanted to be sure that they didn't test positive. And of course, I have some kids who are in med school and nursing school and whatnot, so they also can take this and not have to worry about, you know, being tested for anything with positive THC.
Can I ask you a question? Is your son in med school? Are they
My
teaching
daughter.
your daughter?
Yeah.
Sorry, are they teaching them the endocannabinoid system yet?
I don't know. I have to ask her that.
Yeah,
That's a good
'cause
question.
they're not. I mean, they hadn't been in almost 90% of medical schools, so it's a
That's a
disservice.
great question. I never thought about asking her that.
Yeah, and it partly because of the federal funding with the medical schools, and it's still Schedule 1 and such. So
But she knows it just because, I mean, this girl's so
'Cause she
smart.
knows it,
You know,
yeah.
so of course she knows our business, so she knows it very, very well. But yeah, that's a good question. I need to ask her if she's seen that in any other curriculum.
yeah,
Great question. Great question. And then Adriana actually Gonzalez has a question. She says, with the MDPR, how many products do you have available for consumers? So currently we have for consumers, we have 42 different SKUs, and 3 of those belong to pets. So we have 39 available for consumers. So hopefully that answers your question.
are the pet formulations? Are they something that a human couldn't take? Because I'll give my dogs the low dose human.
So one of the things that we do in our especially our pet
Yeah.
tinctures is we use them with triglyceride that actually helps with absorption in animals.
Nice.
Because again, with the hemp oil, it's not really geared towards the animals.
Right.
The other thing that we also find is that the animals shouldn't have any of the THC. There's some of the studies actually show that it's only great to provide the animals with the CBD, not necessarily any of the THC.
Interesting.
So we just kind of erred on the side of caution and did
Good.
ours
Yeah.
with strictly no THC, and then we also added that triglyceride to actually help the bind in the intestine and
Fascinating.
help with the absorption.
And do you know, I was listening to another thing the other day where they were saying that you can increase the absorption of your CBD by like 40% if you take it with a fatty meal.
Yes.
Isn't that fascinating? So I didn't know that. I usually take my I take my thyroid medicine, and then half an hour later I use my sublingual, and then at bedtime I just take it, because I don't usually eat a big fatty meal right before bed. But perhaps
No.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I don't either, but I mean, usually I'll make those type of meals for dinner or something. So
Right.
have
But
them
maybe I
before the-
should
You can
just
still
to improve
take
the
it,
absorption. You
like,
can still
at
take
4
Oh, it still
o'clock.
works.
It
Oh,
still
absolutely.
works.
Yeah.
But
Because if I take it right before I go to bed, then I get really sleepy, because I like to wake up at like 4 a.m.
because you're in early, I didn't know you were.
Yes, like
Early.
all day long.
Yeah, you and
if
Sam,
I
yeah.
if I take it like right before bed, I'm so groggy.
And do you know what the science for CBD is, that it's supposed to be kind of alert. It's supposed to help you
Yes.
be more alert. But what it does, I think it just works to help normalize your circadian rhythms,
Yes.
so that when we're supposed to be going to sleep, evolutionarily, when the sun goes down, and our brains are supposed to go into rest and repair mode, not like we've been doing for the past 100 years or so, it will turn off. So
Yeah.
I take mine in the morning, and I'm never tired. I take it twice a day, but like it doesn't make me tired. But it was paradoxical that, like, no, but I'm sleeping better now. You notice?
Yeah.
So it's a cool thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
So you just have a good circadian clock. Danielle.
yes,
Yes.
I guess I do.
So do you sleep? Like, do you go to bed early? I mean, Or do you?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
So about 8 o'clock or so.
And if
or-
I'm like really stressed and I stay up like 4 or 5 hours, I love myself some Adderall, which is bad for you because it kind of makes you have nervous breakdowns. I always tell young people this. I'm like, do not take Adderall because it's like, it makes you feel like that movie.
Which one?
You know that one movie that it's like the guy's like the smart drug. I mean, it makes you
Limitless?
feel
Oh,
limitless.
yes,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
That's a great show.
But like it will like mess with you, and like a lot of
Yeah.
like 24, 25-year-olds, and once you're like 35, you're like, I gotta go get an EKG. I can't do Adderall anymore. But you know, whenever you're younger, so like. If you take more of the plant, not
Yes.
synthetics,
Yeah.
like we talked
Yes,
about,
yes.
it does. It
medicine.
does make you feel better. It makes you just feel. That makes you feel limitless, not Adderall.
Maybe because
But
they're sleeping so well.
I
or
always
something.
tell people, I'm like, because I think that they just started taking like, you know, pop, let's just
Yeah.
put all those pills out,
Yeah.
and then, you know, kind of going back to like the roots and being holistic and really doing what's good for your body is a change, but
A
it
good
does make you feel good. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I mean, it makes you feel so much better. That does make you refocus. So, your daughter is doing that in med school.
She is, and she does great, really good.
Good for her.
Yeah, it's exciting. And my other daughters are in nursing school, so they use it also
Great.
in nursing school because one of them's doing the nurse practitioner, the one's doing the BSN program. So it's just, and my son's already a BSN too.
impressive.
So yeah, they're all amazing.
Good for you.
Good kids.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you know, this month, guys, one of the things I forgot to talk about is actually it's Pain Awareness Month. So you know, that's one of the big things we always, you know, of course, this is great for pain awareness. It works so well in so many different aspects of pain. Whether it's just sometimes we have those back pains, we have stress headaches, like you kind of talked about. Of course, the roll-on works great for those. Migraines, you'd be surprised how many people we've treated with migraines for this. It's been phenomenal.
Yep.
And then, of course, all different types of Crohn's, colitis. We've treated rheumatoid
And the
arthritis,
inflammatory stuff.
osteo.
Part you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just a number of different things that we've treated so far. So it's been fantastic, really good. And of course, the other thing coming up, guys, is Burning Market Days. We'll be doing that on September 12th and 13th. So that's always something for us to look at. One of the big things we'll be doing also for pain awareness, I forgot to talk about, was on the 3rd of September, which is actually tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
We'll be doing a 15% flash sale for pain awareness. So anything that you need to kind of catch up or to help you with your pain awareness, we'll be doing that for that one day. So from midnight tonight until midnight tomorrow, we'll be actually having a 15% sale at our store. It's www.empiricalsa.com. So if you have anything that you're looking to get, you know, make sure that you
It's
join
a
our
great
store.
time to buy, get a discount, try it, and see what kind of impact it can have on your life.
Absolutely. So Danielle, we kind of heard about, you know, what our product has done for you. Well, why don't you tell us more about what your business is? What do you do?
So I own a medical management clinic. My fiance is a spine surgeon, and we really just try to help people get better. We have explored more of the, you know, infusion therapy that really helps people with their joints and everything. But you know, if they're hurt, they're hurt. Let's get them. But I think that a lot of people are kind of scared. I think that going underneath the knife is scary. But I think that the more and more we educate our patients and really tell them of all the options of how much surgery has changed, I think that very much using topicals are huge. I just think that a lot of people just don't take the time to do that because they're so forced fed, like, you know, pain meds. And it's like, okay, let's try a little bit of massage therapy. Let's try topicals. Let's try to get your diet better and really just a better way of healing yourself. Of course, you know, surgery has completely changed on as far as how advanced the recovery is, but I think that it still has that negative view on it that it's gonna, So I think that the main thing for us, we like to get people in, give them all their options, but I think that using, you know, CBD oils to really show them, and I love that because I mean, like Dr. Kumar, he's very much like, you know, pro CBD oils. I think the more physicians that stand behind this, which has been, oh my gosh, I mean, anyone that says it's a quack is just crazy, right? Because there's so many doctors in the last 3 years that have seen their patients like benefit from CBD oil. So I think the more that we just educate everybody on how going back to the roots. We were even watching a documentary on aromatherapies, and there was all these patients and just their psyche that they just want to be treated good. And I think that now healthcare is just such a business that it makes healthcare providers even forget why do they even get into healthcare.
Yeah, because you just get so overwhelmed.
Yes.
And unfortunately, medicine is a volume game for
Absolutely.
a lot of different specialties and practices. And when you're having to see really to cover your overhead and pay everybody, the staff, and 35, 45 patients a day. I know pain management docs who see 60 patients a day.
In there, yeah.
And it's just, it's grueling, and obviously you can't spend as much time as you'd like when someone's behind you cracking a whip telling you got to see 65 tomorrow and whatnot. So this is a good thing, and I do think, that like you mentioned before we started filming, 4 years ago, people were not talking about it as much, and doctors were far more reluctant to consider it. But the science is coming out, and then the stereotypes are being shifted, and people are learning and experiencing it. The science is constantly evolving. I mean, it is so fascinating and complex how it works. And 1 year we think everything's working through CB1 and CB2 receptors, and now we know really not hardly at all. It's working through a ton of other mechanisms at the cellular level. But for the surgical patients, any of us have had surgery, that nerve pain is something that responds really, really well to CBD because that's where it's acting. That's where our endocannabinoids are produced and act to turn up or turn down pain signals. So when you've had a surgical injury and sometimes that kind of lingering numbness or burning or tingling around the incision site, CBD might actually help to heal that and kind of tone down those abnormally firing nerve signals and pain signals. So it's a great adjunct in the post-operative setting for patients.
And operatively, we actually have a transdermal that we created, actually, which has a lidocaine base.
Perfect.
It has the CBD, actually, which is 1,500 or 800 milligrams. And of course, then the menthol. So it kind of helps with, that immediate pain with the lidocaine. So I actually see a great response in those patients, usually in 3 to 6 minutes.
Awesome.
Once we apply it. And again, it's a transdermal, so actually we'll get directly into the blood as well.
Is it a cream or is it a patch? Or
no, it's a cream.
Cool.
It's a cream, but it is transdermal, so
Great.
actually it's the DMSO, so
Yep.
actually will penetrate directly through the skin,
Yep.
which is good. Of course, all of our other products, they won't actually get all the way into the blood. So like the roll-on that you like to use for yourself, that one actually would just be used topically and actually would just penetrate directly into the dermis, epidermis, and the subcutaneous. So it won't get into your blood at all. So that's also great for healthcare professionals who are worried about taking a
drug screen.
Mm-hmm. They don't have to worry about that coming out positive as well.
Yeah.
So very, very beneficial for those individuals.
And we talked last
Absolutely.
week about skin.
Oh, yes.
CBD, what it does at the skin level is still evolving, but there are a ton of receptors in the dermis and the subdermis for CBD at the follicles, at the sebum glands that produce the waxy material that feeds acne and stuff. So it is sebum static. It decreases that production. So it's got some data showing it can help decrease acne and calm down the inflammation.
Have you tried CBD skincare yet?
So, for the psoriasis, I use it systemically, the tinctures,
yeah.
and I'm off of all my biologics.
That's
And I've got
awesome.
a 90% disability rating from the psoriasis. Like, when you have a baby, your immune system is kind of suppressed, and that's one of the mechanisms by which you protect the baby, which is foreign genetic material. But then, as soon as the baby's born, the immune suppression goes away, and so if you had an autoimmune disease brewing, it just like fire. So I went from having disease that was limited to my forearms and my knees to like every morning I woke up and it was like, oh great, now my calves. And next morning, oh great, my thighs. Oh God, my heels, my head, my scalp. Like a lizard. It was horrible. And so I was on biologic agents and steroids and like everything, and was able to get off of it all with Humira, with CBD. And so for me to get off of a bunch of drugs that I needed, like tuberculosis surveillance and lymphoma surveillance and kidney surveillance, everything else, to take a plant that's got nothing but beneficial side effects is profound, right?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
So Brian had a question. He wanted to know what our highest full spectrum we offer was. That's a 5,000 milligram full spectrum tincture that we currently have. We treat a lot of our neurology patients with that high dose. Also, a lot of our MS patients are taking that high dose, and our rheumatology patients. We're finding at those higher doses. And those are the ones that we sell mainly in physician offices. Those we won't sell really in C-stores because it's just such a high dose. We really want to make sure that they have a good understanding of how to take those, because we should give them a loading dose to kind of start and then kind of titrate them down and then find a real base medium that they can actually feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
So that's what we like to make sure we talk to our consumers before they buy those type of high doses. And then also, Dawn, thank you again. She says such amazing products. She's very impressed. So we really appreciate your comments for there.
And there's friends of ours, Charles Rodkey, Brian Hutchinson.
Yes.
Yeah, all great friends.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate that
Thanks
information.
for tuning in.
Yes. Really appreciate that. Danielle, thanks for sharing about your business. We really
Thanks so
appreciate
much,
that.
you guys, for having me on. This has been
Good to see
fun.
you. I haven't seen you in forever.
I have like the cocaine. And
Yeah,
She's
she
getting
got
a
to
little
try our energy drink too.
You're not
That's
going to
good.
bed at 8 o'clock
I
tonight.
was no.
Yeah,
I
there's no way you're
hope
going to bed early now.
I'm
so
gonna
that's-
go back and work on my business plan. That's how exciting my night is.
No kidding. Yeah, I should have some. Go home and finish a couple blog posts and such. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll keep you up till 4 a.m. probably.
Is it really that bad?
It's got a lot of caffeine.
Uh-oh.
It's got a lot of
Alright.
caffeine, 240 milligrams of caffeine. So yes, that is
But
definitely.
no, your product is amazing, and I just appreciate you having us on the show. And
So good to
Yeah,
see you.
it's-
Thanks
I
for coming
know,
on.
I
Thanks
miss
for
we
you
really
guys.
like individuals like yourself
it feels
trying
so
out
weird
products.
to touch people. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know
You're
we're all
real.
safe. We're all safe here.
Yeah.
But now we love individuals like yourself just trying it out because, like we talked about earlier, it's all about education. It's about getting the word out there. It's about having other individuals, professionals like yourself, physicians and nurses, and you know, individuals. We have a number of lawyers and golfers and all kinds of stay-at-home moms that are out there, you know, using our product and have found just an impact in their life. Their activities of daily living have changed dramatically. You know, one of my business partners, or my main business partner, he actually had an injury in a car accident where he couldn't lift his shoulder higher than this.
Yeah.
And he's an avid golfer. He golfs 7 days a week, sometimes 36 holes a day. And it's amazing because what he does is he puts that roll-on on, or he'll take the tincture and then he'll put that roll-on, and he goes from there
Yeah.
to here.
It's impressive.
It's so amazing to see how he has full range of motion and success with our products. So just amazing, just really amazing to see what this product can do for not only for him but just for every consumer that we've seen so far.
I
So-
love it. Whenever I'm going down the highway, rubbing it on my neck, all mad.
Tension headache.
Any other updates?
All right, Mike. So we have a drawing for tonight, right? We're going to be giving away a 250 milligram tincture.
The peppermint.
We've had quite a few viewers tonight. Actually, we've got 25 people watching right now.
Great.
All right, Danielle, we're going to let you pick tonight.
Oh, am I going to do like a drawing, or do I just
Yeah.
do it in my
So we
head?
have so many different people here. I'm going to let you kind of scroll through there, and you get to pick one of those individuals to win
gosh.
tonight.
I'm not going to cheat. It can't be one of my friends. Let's see. Vivian Melodano. I probably said that wrong.
Let's see.
Or Spanish. Maldonado. It was
Yes,
close.
there we go. Vivian, I liked her name. It reminded me
Good
of
job,
Pretty
Vivian.
Woman.
A pretty one. That's awesome.
She's got her Spanish name. That was
That's
perfect.
awesome.
That's good. So
Vivian
congratulations,
Maldonado.
Vivian.
Sorry.
That's awesome.
You're gonna like the peppermint.
Yay,
It tastes really
Vivian.
Yes,
good.
it's a really good product. I think you're really going to enjoy that product for yourself and your family. Kimmy, thanks for joining us. I know Kimmy's joining us from California. She's actually sells.
Oh, and
like we
Linda.
talked about that. She actually sells her product for us out of our home. Her husband's in the military, so in the Air Force out there in San Diego. So she's selling for us as well.
That's terrific.
Yeah, but she sells, and it's funny because she sold to somebody in Colleen, which is
good. Yes.
So it's funny is the wherever they were
connections.
stationed. Yeah, that's awesome. So congrats, Vivian. Thanks for watching and joining us this evening. Welcome back again next week. We want to make sure that you guys come back and watch us, 7:30-ish. And we always say that we're going to start off at 7:30. We try to, sometimes. And we just get to talking, and we're like, oh, let's finish our notes. Let's get this ready. And
it's
by
like
the time
being on the island.
Yeah, it's like by the time we get there, it's like, oh my gosh, it's already 7:40 or 7:45. Let's get started. So I apologize for that. We'll blame it on Mike Anthony and Steven.
Exactly.
We're never late. It's always them. But actually, next week, join us because we actually have Dr. Clay. Dr. Clay is a chiropractor here in town. Actually, he was also using our products for his patients. So we're excited to actually bring him on board and kind of show us what he's been doing with some of our transdermal pain cream that he's been practicing
We'll ask him
or
to do
sharing
some
with his
adjustments
patients.
for us online.
Yeah, that's awesome. We'll see if we can. Yeah, we're bringing the table and see if we can do some
Awesome.
adjustments there.
I love getting adjusted.
But Danielle, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Of course, Dr. Wendy, thanks for being my co-host as usual.
Thank you for having me.
And guys, thanks for watching our show. We appreciate all your time and this evening, and we
thank
hope
you
to
for
see you again next week. Join us next Tuesday night, 7:30-ish.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
See you soon.